The Candid Convos show. We are going to be having candid conversations, just showing up really authentically and talking about life, business, motherhood, faith, all the things that we juggle as women. I'm Cheree Sauer. I own Success Without Sacrifice, along with my business partner, Tara Dev, who is not on here with us live today. And then I also have some friends here with me. We're going to be having conversations. So I will let you ladies introduce yourself first. So Misty, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Misty Springer. I own Misty Springer Coaching, and I'm excited to be here. Just excited to discuss authenticity and what it means for each of us.
Yeah.
And I'm Tanya Goodall Smith. I own Work Story Creative, and super excited to be here too.
Yeah. Well, you might be wondering why Tanya and I look like we're, just got out of the shower. She's got a mud mask on. I've got my robe on. I have clothes under this, I promise. But really the heart behind this and the thought behind this was to really show women like we can show up authentically and be who we are, no matter how we look or what we look like or we look crazy. For me, one of my goals this year is really to have more fun in my marketing and just be really authentic to who I am. I like to have fun. I like to be crazy a little bit. And also showing up in this way is really uncomfortable for me, right? I feel like on Facebook, Instagram, social media, I always I don't get me wrong, I love being dressed up. I love wearing business attire. It's fun. And also I also don't want to feel like I have to be perfect all the time. And so that's really what these conversations about, is taking down the veil of perfectionism. That's what this is about for me. And so for me, showing up not in, my normal business attire is really stepping out of my comfort zone in a way that I can just show up and be like, hey, this is me, no matter what I look like. So, and then Tanya, she was like, I think I'm going to wear a mud mask. I was like, yes, please. So Tanya, I'll let you talk about that and why you wanted to kind of show up in that way.
Okay, yeah. So I help people create personal branding that's really polished, right? I want them to be them, but the very best version of them showing up online. And I try to do that for myself too. And kind of similar to you, trying to get out of my comfort zone, and so I was like, if we're gonna show a part of ourselves that we don't normally show, then I'll just go for it. But it does feel a little uncomfortable and embarrassing to show up like this. But yeah, I would do silly stuff like this in real life, so I'm like, why shouldn't I show up like this for a video? No big deal. So
I love it. Love it. Love it. And then Misty, you kind of had a different take on this. So tell us kind of how you felt about this, as Tanya and I are like, yeah, this is what we're going to
do. Yeah, actually my authenticity is showing up, not following what Tanya and Cheree are doing, because what I tend to do is want to be liked, want to be accepted, want to fit in. And so it was really uncomfortable for me to have to really tune in and get quiet with myself and say, what is my authenticity? And one of the things that I've been really focusing on this year is showing up as me and not what I think others think me should be. And sometimes the message out on social media or anything in the world is be what somebody else is telling you should be. And sometimes in marketing that can feel like, oh, be big, be bold, be out there, and that's authentic. And for me, that isn't authentic. My authenticity is like my yoga clothes, which is, when I heard somebody say one time, dress for the job that you want. And this is the job that I want, comfortable in my yoga clothes, mindfulness. I spent the morning in meditation. That is who I am. And also what is very important to me is just speaking from my heart and letting that shine, letting that be what I bring to the table. And when I was praying actually this morning about what is it that I hope we can convey through this conversation. And it really came down to, there's beauty in our being. There's beauty in the very essence of who we are, that the tapestry of us there's beauty woven into that tapestry, and that's the light and the dark. It's the raw and it's the put together. It's all of it. All of it is welcome here. And that's really what we hope to create with these conversations, is that no matter who you are or where you're at or how you want to present yourself, put together or not put together, fun or reserved, whatever you is, we want you to feel like there's a space for you and that all of you is welcome.
Yeah, so good. I love that you described like the tapestry. I love that visual. Yeah, and bringing in this conversation. So we're actually going to do these weekly, just a short little snippet. We're going to be talking about just kind of whatever's going on in life, different things. We'll have different topics that we're talking about. But really it's bringing out the conversations of, Misty, what you just said, of showing up how I think other people want me to show up. And this is something that, like, when my kids were toddlers, I was stuck in that showing up how I thought other people expected me to show up. And I was not a good mom because of it. I was trying to be somebody else, and it was not authentic to who I was. And so I think we struggle with this as moms, as business owners. And these are like conversations that people are not having. And so I'm just excited to open up this topic and have these conversations. And we're actually going to be carrying these conversations into an in-person event here, if you're local in Spokane, Washington. If you're not, you can join us weekly here, but in Spokane once a month. We are going to be joining together, the three of us, and then we're inviting all women. It does not matter if you're a business owner, doesn't matter. You're welcome to come however you are. You can show up in your business attire if you're coming from work. You can show up in your yoga pants or your pajamas, like however you want to show up and feel comfortable. It's just going to be a really relaxed environment, not to grow our businesses. It's not a networking event. It's an event to come together and just really build deep connections and authenticity. And one of the things that I have posted several times on my Facebook is, and I think this is all women, but I feel like especially as business owners, building deeper friendships is really hard, and having those vulnerable connections. I think there's a wall and it's just harder. And so we go to these networking events and we're presenting our best professional selves. And that is not this. This is not what this event is going to be about. This event is really just going to be showing up and building deeper connections. We'll be doing some different activities and exercises to really facilitate that. Our first one is going to be February 27th. At Burbity. Shout out to Burbity Workspaces for being our sponsor. So that way, this is a free event. We are going to have some food. So we're just going to ask people to bring like a side dish or something to share and really just have some authentic conversations. Did I miss anything on that? I'll let you guys speak to kind of what you're excited about with it. But February 27th, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. At Burbity Workspaces.
On Sullivan.
On Sullivan. Yes, on Sullivan. And we have a Facebook event link that you can go to that has the directions and more details and all of that. But we just wanted to kind of bring it up here and talk about that. Misty, do you have anything specific that you want to say on that?
What our hope and our goal, we've talked about this, and we want a space where women can come together and share and grow and develop those deep friendships that are sometimes challenging in our busy lives. And the things that we're doing, often we need space to just show up and be ourselves. And we're going to have, it's not going to be just a free for all. It's not going to be, there will be very specific things that each event will be crafted in a way that helps us to develop those connections and helps us to create those authentic conversations. So it's going to be very, very powerful. There are things that I think we all need as women, those spaces to just be ourselves, to practice showing up as who we truly are, and a space to do that feels safe.
Yeah, so good. Tanya, anything you want to add?
I don't know. I'm kind of along for the ride, I guess. Here to be supportive and, lend my voice whenever it's needed. And I get that's kind of authentic to me, I guess. That's how I show up a lot, I guess, is yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to ask you to bring out is you photograph women all day, every day.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you notice when you are going to take their picture? Because I think you have a really unique perspective on the thoughts and the processes that go through our minds. So what do you see in that when you're taking photographs of women?
Yeah, so actually this last couple months, I've been doing some promotions and had lots of women come into my studio, and so different. Every woman so different, you know, like older, younger, thin, heavier, every person a different business or, you know, reason they came in for photos. And just each one, I see their beauty and their uniqueness, and not, you know, there isn't one thing that makes anyone beautiful. Like Misty was saying, we're all, you know, it's a sum of all these parts that make us interesting. And pretty much I mean, I maybe photographed 2 women ever that seemed like so confident, like genuine confidence in front of the camera. Every single one like voices their insecurities to me, doesn't want to have their picture taken, you know, that kind of thing. And so, and I do too. Like I like to get in front of the camera myself to experience it, and I have the same thoughts, you know, like about our looks. We're so focused on how we look in our society, I think, and as women especially, it's so important to us to look good. And I think our bodies are always changing too. I think that's another thing, right? Like especially the older women coming in, like I don't look young anymore. Everything's changed, you know. But even when we were young, right? We're like I was looking at pictures of myself from high school, and I'm like, how did I think I was fat? Like it doesn't make any sense. So I've learned a lot to accept who I am and how I look now and how my body is now just by photographing these women and recognizing that, like, you are so beautiful now. Also, our looks don't really matter as much, right? Like, what are we putting out into the world? What are we giving? What are we receiving? And those things are more interesting than, you know, the state of our skin and the size of our pants. So yeah, those have been my observations through photographing thousands of women. And but it's a struggle for us, I think, just, you know, accepting how we are now and knowing that we're going to change tomorrow. You know, it's just, that's the nature of our human our humanness, you know. So
yeah.
Can I add something in there, Cheree? Because it just triggered something for me, because, you know, having had a couple of photo shoots, I've experienced that. And what I remember the very first photo shoot that I ever did for my business, the photographer, she suggested that I bring along 2 friends. And those 2 friends, we were doing a little bit of the photography before the friends arrived. And then the friends arrived, and I looked over and I saw my friends, and she captured a picture. And as she took the picture, she said, "There you are. That's there you are." And I will never forget that, because the pictures with my friends felt so much more powerful. They felt so much more authentic. They felt so much more like me. And I think sometimes that's what we're hoping to create in this space, is like, oh, there you are. Like, let's just be together in a space that feels safe, where you can feel comfortable showing up and shining, because we are taught. For me, getting in front of a camera is not so much about the looks, but it's about all the attention being on me.
Yeah, being seen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And that's what's hard for me, is just, oh my goodness, all the attention is on me, like right now, single focused camera right here. So that, you know, being in a space where you can be seen as yourself, as authentic, and received is beautiful. It's so empowering to feel somebody sees my heart and it's accepted.
Yeah.
And that heart can be broken, it can be full, it just is accepted.
Yeah. A lot of my clients say that about their experience with me, is they feel that from me. You know, like they're showing up as they are and fully accepted. And then I'm also helping them to look their best, because we want to look our best in our pictures, right? So that is, I think that's what we want as women, and we're not getting a lot, especially as business women, because we are trying to put on this, well, non-business women too, right, Cheree? Like you said, when you were a stay-at-home mom, like there's this image of this mom that we think we should be, and not necessarily what each mom is different, right? We each have different styles and priorities and personalities, right?
Yeah. For me, I used to think being a good mom was my kids looking perfect, having a perfect outfit and their hair all done, and to show up to a birthday party. And yet I'm stressed,
right?
Trying myself to look perfect and to get them to look perfect, and then like that's intense on them. That's a lot of pressure on them, all because of how I think it's gonna, people are gonna portray me. And so I think it shows up in all different areas of our lives, not just business. I think there's just an added layer of pressure as a business owner, to have it all together, to look professional, and and those things are good. Like, I'm going to be a lot more confident getting on a stage if I look and feel my best, versus I'm not going to show up on a stage to create transformation for somebody in my PJs like that. That's just, it's a different. And so there is a balance of, feeling confident in our own skin, and what do we need to do to feel confident in our own skin, and also showing up authentically no matter what we look like. Even like going to the grocery store without makeup on used to be really hard for me, and sometimes it still is. Like, if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm like, what if I run into somebody and they see me without my makeup on? Like it's so funny, all of these things that go through our heads as women. And, in the picture perfect magazine models and all of that, it's we all know why it's there. But I'm just really excited for these conversations, and for just the different perspectives of each of us as well, and kind of where we come from. It's funny when you were talking about, Misty, for you, the camera, it's like the camera's all on you. For me, it's like I'm really awkward with posing, and then they're like, do this and do this, and I'm like, if I am not like looking at a camera and smiling, I am like the least photogenic person there is. I cannot tell you how many pictures I have of speaking, and they're just horrible unless I am like posing. I finally just was like, okay, I just have to embrace this. It's just it is. I can laugh at it or I can be mad about it. And so it's interesting how everybody has like a different take on it, on what they feel like of being photographed in a camera. And I remember my grandma for the longest time, and she's a little bit better, but she did not like her picture being taken. And so I was like that as well. And I finally got to the point where I was like, if I die, I want my kids to have photos of me. I want them to have video of me. I used to be like, don't video me. I used to get, mad at my husband. And I was like, this is so silly. Like, nobody's going to see these. Like, this is about creating memories. And I want my kids to have something to go back to. And so I just really had to release that, like being perfect all the time. That's really what it was for me.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So good. So we are trying to keep these short at 15 minutes. We are right about that. Any last things you guys want to say? Just a last reminder. We're going to be taking these kind of conversations in person, February 27th. We want you to join us. You do not have to be a business owner. You can be a stay-at-home mom. You can work. You can be a business owner. Whoever you are, we just want you to show up and really just come and build these authentic relationships and have these really authentic conversations. So awesome. All right. Well, that's a wrap. We will be back next week, same time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we will have another candid conversation. Thank you, everybody.